Good morning. Coming to you live in the gym in Selland Park, New Mexico. This is the 343 commitment and still counting. 110 floors for our brother firefighter Eugene Whelan off of Engine 230 in Brooklyn, known as the Park Ave Rats. This climb is to carry our brother up to the 110th floor, finishing his footsteps to the very top of the tower, symbolically going up with honor, respect. This climb is going to be dedicated to his mother Joan, father Alfred, and his 9 siblings, which one that I can tell right away is Bobby, who actually joined the FDNY as the first probing class after 9/11. This climb is dedicated to you, brother, that your brother Eugene will never be forgotten. So we have a total of 7 verticals to get us to the 101st floor, and 9 floors after that, and this 337th climb of the initial 343 commitment will be completed. Right now, again, this is for the Park Ave Rats to be carried to the very top. So here we go. So it said that he and 2 brothers lived together. It was Bobby, and if I got it correct, possibly Chris, and they worked in Rockaway together at the Lighthouse Pub and Restaurant. Our brother was with the Park Ave Rats. He got on with the FDNY in October of 1995, the year I graduated high school. Our brother began his career with the FDNY, serving the citizens of New York, and on 9/11 responded to the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil. Our brother was 31 years old at the time of his response. Because of the valor, bravery, and heroism that was shown, our brothers that made the rescue response saved upwards of 25,000. So, carrying them up to the 110th floor with honor and respect for the sacrifices made so that others could live. So our brother was known by his family as Peaches. That was his nickname. But he was also known as a serial hugger, because our brother, instead of a handshake, would give everybody a bear hug. It said that there at the Pride of Bed-Stuy in Bedford, Stuyvesant, in Brooklyn, where Agent 230, the Park Ave Rats, were located, that the neighborhood children would actually bring in their bikes to our brother Eugene, and he would get them fixed up for him and get it back on the road. Our brother was great with his nieces and nephews, loved spending time with them, and it said he was a Velcro magnet for kids. It said that when he went to school one time, he noticed that there was one child left on the school bus, and he asked why. It turns out this child was paralyzed. So our brother carried the paralyzed child off the bus to the fire truck so they could see and be part of everything. Our brother was known as the King of Fun, but a consummate professional when it came down to responses. And his family actually started the Eugene Whelan King of Fun Foundation Dinner and Dance, which is a yearly event in his honor. As I said, this climb is dedicated to his mother Joan, father Alfred, his brother Bobby, who's on the FDNY, was in the first probing class after 9/11 to get on, and it said he actually took Eugene's badge number as his. Your son and brother will never be forgotten. I wasn't able to find too much on all of his siblings, on their names, so I'm just going to dedicate this to the Whelan family in general. But your brother will never be forgotten. He will not just become a name on a plaque or a picture on a wall. Instead, his sacrifice and his story being told. For our brother, the King of Fun, the consummate professional in the fire service, 31 years of age when he responded on 9/11 with a park out rat there at the private Bed-Stuy, Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. This is the third tour up the stairs, and after this, headed home. Another brother going to reach the top with honor and respect for the sacrifices made so that others can live. We are now down to 6 climbs left in this initial 343 climbs. One by one, their stories shared on this stair climber, in stairwells, coliseums, on the road, in 5Ks, in road races on bikes. Their stories will never be forgotten, but instead they will always be carried with the highest respect, so their families know that we will always remember and never forget. For the families, the FDNY in our country, our brother responded to the worst terrorist attack, but because of that bravery, valor, and heroism that was shown, rescued upwards of 25,000, saved civilians and others alike. This is why we climb, to share their stories so they do not just fade away. Taking them to the 110th floor with honor and respect given. Our brother, it said he was no saint, but he loved listening to the Grateful Dead. I guess that was his favorite band when he was at a Rockaway pub. Right now, for our brother who was a fix-it bike repair shop there at Engine 230, the Park Ave Rats, the neighborhood children would actually bring in their bikes, and he would do his best to get them roadworthy and get them back having fun. Our brother was known as Velcro for children because he loved spending time with the kids. As I said before, he went to school, to a school presentation, and found one child still on the bus by themselves. When he asked what happened, turned out the child was paralyzed. So our brother took it upon himself to carry the paralyzed child off that bus to his fire engine. He was a great person, as the rest. We will never forget their sacrifices and their families left behind. Dedicated to Alfred, his father, Joan, his mother, and his 9 siblings, which one of them was Bobby. Whelan, who actually is on the FDNY in the first probing class after 9/11. He actually has his brother's Eugene's badge number on the job. Serving the citizens of New York. Our brother will never be forgotten. As I said before, his family nickname was Peaches. He loved spending time with his nieces and nephews and his family. And our brother found at 10 years old that he wanted to be a firefighter. In 1995, our brother made it happen. Got on with the FDNY, and at 31 years of age, responded on 9/11 with the Park Ave Rats, taking our brother to the very top. Firefighter Eugene Whelan, going up there now with honor and respect. So we have a total of 7 verticals I spoke about. We're already up 3, got 4 left. For our brother who lived with 2 of his siblings, one being Bobby, and if I read it correct, I believe the other one was Chris. If I got it wrong, I apologize. Everything's done by memory. That they worked at a lighthouse pub and restaurant there in Rockaway. And our brother joined the FDNY. Known as the King of Fun, but a consummate professional when it came down to getting work done on the fire ground. In service to the citizens of New York, our brother is going vertical to give honor and respect to the sacrifices made so that others can live. This is the initial 343 commitment, and still counting. 110 floors coming to you live in the gym in Southern Park, New Mexico, with the 337th climb to go vertical. We're down to 6 brothers left to be carried to the very top, following the continuation and the completion of this climb. What started in August of 2016, almost 5 years later, and by the time it's said and done, it'll be over 5 years, it's almost complete. We will never forget the sacrifices made on 9/11, but we will also never forget the sacrifices that followed. Those who worked the pile on ground zero for days, weeks, and months, until the almost 9 months was completed with the removal of the last beam and placement into the 9/11 Memorial Museum, that the recovery effort was declared complete. We will not forget their sacrifices. Those that succumbed to 9/11 illnesses and cancers. Upon completion of this last 6 climbs, we will take our brothers and sisters involved vertical in the end, still counting, to the 110th floor. Each one will rise with honor and respect for their efforts in the recovery at ground zero. For their families to know they will never be forgotten. And God willing, I will climb for as many as I can until I physically cannot climb anymore. This is why we climb. For the Park Ave Rats, Agent 230, in the Pride of Bed-Stuy, Bedford Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. We're going to the top. For our brother firefighter, Eugene Whelan. for our brother, Eugene Whelan. Taking our brother to the very top. Third of this tour to get him vertical. For the serial hugger who was known to give bear hugs to everybody instead of handshakes, our brother will never be forgotten. His love for his nieces and nephews, his siblings, his mom and dad, and the citizens of New York, where our brother had a want to become a firefighter when he was 10 years old. So in 1995, October, our brother completed his goal and became a firefighter with the FDNY. On 9/11, assigned to the Park Ave Rats in Bedford Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, into 230. Taking him all the way to the 110th floor. And tomorrow, we'll also be climbing for the Park Ave Rats into 230. But this tomorrow, on Monday. Monday, we'll be climbing for our brother, Edward White, from the Park Ave Rats. Taking them up one floor at a time till we reach the next. By the time that 7th vertical is done, we're on the third to last. We'll be at the 101, and it's only 9 floors after that. For our brother, lovingly known for his family as Peaches. The serial hugger, the king of fun, whose family actually started the Eugene Whelan King of Fun Foundation Dinner and Dance in his memory. He will not be forgotten. Bobby Whelan, your brother, and his legacy will live on. For his other siblings, who I wasn't able to get their names, your brother will always be remembered and never forgotten. To Alfred and Joan and their 10 children, including Bobby and Eugene, I promise you, this story will live on. Whether it's being shared on this stair climber in the initial 343 commitment, or in stairwells and in coliseums around the United States, in 5K and greater runs and cycling events, they will never be forgotten. Right now, for our brother, who was Mr. Fix-It at the Park Ave Rats, for the neighborhood children who would bring him their bikes so he could repair them and get them back to having fun. It said he kept warm winter coats in his vehicle because he would give them out if he came across a homeless person in need of a coat. Our brother and his goodwill and sacrifice will never be forgotten. A consummate professional of the FDNY. We will never forget, but instead we will always remember the sacrifices that were made so that others could live. Right now, coming to you live in the gym in Summit Park, New Mexico. Third climb of the tour for firefighter Eugene Whelan, aged 230. Park Ave, Rats, the Pride of Bed-Stuy, Bedford, Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. Our brother got his start in 1995 in October. I just finished high school in 1995. Graduated, I think we graduated in May of that year. So while I was just finishing high school, our brother was on with the FDNY, serving the citizens of New York. Was 31 years of age when he responded on 9/11. They responded to the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil, where upwards of 25,000 were saved in the rescue effort because the bravery, valor, and heroism that was shown. His brother Bobby Whelan joined on the FDNY, was part of the first probie class after 9/11. And it says he ended up being given his brother Eugene's badge number. Bobby, your brother will never be forgotten. Taking them all the way to the very top. Going there now with honor and respect. We have the last vertical coming up after this. A little bit. You will not be forgotten. To the 110th floor we go. Symbolically, after this last vertical, we'll sit at the 101st and 9 floors after this climb. The 337th brother, with only 6 brothers left to carry, and the initial commitment will be completed. Taking them up to give honor and respect to our brother who enjoyed spending time with his family, enjoyed listening to the Grateful Dead, worked with 2 of his brothers, including Bobby, at the Lighthouse Pub and Restaurant there at Rockaway. Again, if any information is a little bit off, I apologize. Everything is by memory. So this is our brother's last vertical to reach the 101st floor. Taking him up to the very top to give honor and respect to the sacrifices that were made so that others could live. The valor, bravery, and heroism that was shown by the initial response. Upwards of 25,000 were saved. On 9/11, 2001, we, the United States, made a commitment across this country to never forget, but to always remember. And right now, it's 19, almost 20 years later, and a lot of people have forgotten, and they just want it to fade away with time. And a promise and a commitment was made that we will never forget, and we will always keep their memories alive. This is why we climb. For his father, Alfred, mother, Joan, and 9 siblings, we will always remember our brother and what he stood for. As I said, he was basically like a Mr. Fix-It there at the Park Ave Rats at engine 230. The Pride of Bed-Stuy, just climbing again with 9 floors left to finish this 110 floor memorial to our brother in the initial 343 commitment. Prior to carrying up our brothers and sisters in the Ansel County, those who worked the pile at ground zero for days, weeks, and months until almost 9 months later, the recovery effort was declared complete with the removal of the last beam and placement in the 9/11 Memorial Museum. Those that succumbed to 9/11 illnesses and cancers will not be forgotten, but instead they will rise one by one and take their journey to the top, giving an honor and respect for the sacrifices that were made to bring resolve to their families, the FDNY, and our country. For our brother, whose family nickname was Peaches, our brother was the serial hugger, because instead of giving you a handshake, our brother would issue out a bear hug, giving love to everybody that he could. Our brother cared for everybody. He took care of the kids' bikes, got them working there at Engine 230. It said he carried jackets that if he ran into the homeless, he would give them a warm jacket. He loved spending time with his nieces and nephews. He loved spending time with his family. And he loved his time on the job with the FDNY. A childhood goal which he wanted since 10 years of age. For his brother Bobby Whelan, that joined the FDNY as the first probie class after 9/11. Eugene will always be remembered. His legacy shared here and across the nation and the world. And right now, the 337th brother has reached the top. Our fellow Eugene Whelan, rest easy, brother. We'll take it from here. You will never, ever be forgotten.